Welcome to our channel Knowledge Hub. Friends, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज की क्लास की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो आज हम नया टॉपिक नया सब्जेक्ट स्टार्ट करेंगे जो कि साइबर सिक्योरिटी है। साइबर सिक्योरिटी जो कि आईटी वालों के लिए और स्पेशली सीएस वालों के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है। साइबर सिक्योरिटी एंड इम्पॉर्टेंट भी सब्जेक्ट है एज वेल एज कोर सब्जेक्ट जिसे हम कह सकते हैं। एंड दिस इज द क्लास 1 ऑफ साइबर सिक्योरिटी वेयर वी विल start with the unit 1, that is the introduction to information system and information system introduction of information system क्या होता है, that what we are discussing here. इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक भी है इसके रिगार्डिंग में, इसको पूछा जाता है लाइक एक्सप्लेन इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम इन डिटेल और व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय द इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम। ये 2014 2015 में भी पूछा गया है बहुत बार, और भी टाइम पूछा गया, इससे पहले भी। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, अगर आप हमारा चैनल फर्स्ट टाइम देख रहे हो या अभी तक आपने हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है, इट्स अ ह्यूज रिक्वेस्ट कि आप हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करो सो दैट हम जो भी वीडियोस डालें वो आपके पास सबसे पहले पहुंचे। सेकेंडली, अगर आपको हमारा वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो प्लीज़ हमारे वीडियो को लाइक शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करो सो दैट ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग के पास वीडियो पहुँचे और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग इसका यूटिलाइजेशन भी कर सकें। इन द रिगार्डिंग ऑफ दैट, फर्स्ट वी गेट टू नो कि व्हाट इज इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम। इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम क्या होता है? अ सिस्टम ऑफ इंटररिलेटेड एलिमेंट्स और अ कंपोनेंट दैट कॉल्ड इनपुट, manipulate that is called manipulate that is a process, and discriminate that is output data and the information, and provide a feedback mechanism to mean and observation. बेसिकली क्या होता है कि इनपुट दिया जाता है, फिर वो प्रोसेस होता है, फिर वो आउटपुट देता है। तो दैट इज़ व्हाट द मैकेनिज्म इज दैट वी कैन से दैट इट फॉलोज। लाइक जैसे कि क्लास के टीचर क्या होता है, क्लास में टीचर लेक्चर देता है तो वो क्या होता है, वो एज इनपुट देता है आपको और आप उसको कॉपी में लिखते हो एज एन इनपुट। फिर वो प्रोसेस होता है। प्रोसेस कब होता है? जब वो आप ऑब्वियसली बात है टेस्ट और एग्जाम से पहले ही पढ़ते हो, उससे पहले तो पढ़ते भी नहीं हो, आई नो वेरी वेल। तो उस टाइम पे वो आपका वो प्रोसेस होता है एंड देन उसके बाद फिर आप एग्जाम में जो उसको लिखते हो वो आपका एंड रिटन प्रोसेस हो रहा होता है एंड उसके बाद जो रिजल्ट आता है दैट इज योर आउटपुट हियर। उसके बाद आप फीडबैक देते हो कि मेरा नंबर अच्छा है नहीं आया हुआ है, उस हिसाब से वो सारी चीज़ें रहती है। तो इसी तरह से कंप्यूटर में भी रहता है, इन्फॉर्मेशन सिस्टम में भी रहता है। एज यू कैन सी, दिस इज द सिस्टमैटिक मॉडल ऑफ एन information system. Here input has been given and the processing take place, and then after the processing that it goes to the output and gives an output. After the output has been come, then it goes into a feedback to the input, what about the output that has been given out. Again, let's go ahead with the systematic models of the information system, that what we had discussed as input, processing, output, feedback, and that forecasting as well. With regard of input, first of all, we know very well more about information system. We'll discuss that only, that IS, that is pronounced as a separate letters, and that short form of the information system. So we can say that the information services as well. And for many companies, the IS is the name of the department responsible for the computers, networking, and the data management. Then other components refer to the department as IT, that is information technology, and MIS, that is management information services. You can just write it on all these things. With regard of the input here, in the input here, that the activity of gathering and capturing the data, whatever goes into the computer, that is what terms as input here. With regard of the processing here, in the processing process, that the converting or transferring the data into the useful output, and in the output one here, that useful information usually in the form of the documents and or a report, anything that comes out of the computer, that is known as output. The feedback is that the output that is used to make the changes to input or processing activities, that is your feedback. And the forecasting, that a proactive approach to feedback that used to estimate the future sales and inventory needs, that is your forecasting. That what you have to understood and what you have to write it down. Now we'll discuss more about the another thing in this, that is a computer based information system. Computer based information system क्या होता है? Computer based information system जो कि बहुत important है, and ये अगर पूछा भी जाएगा तो आपसे डिटेल में पूछा जाएगा, and that is CBIS जिसे हम बोलते हैं, computer based information system. In this, an information system that uses the computer technology to perform some or all of the intended tasks, some sets of hardware, software, databases, telecommunications, peoples, and procedures that has been done, and that has been the telecommunication networks. Yeah. Now we'll discuss about the technologies infrastructure. What is technology infrastructure? In the terms of the technology infrastructure, what you have to know is that technology infrastructure includes all the hardware, software, database, telecommunication people and procedures, and even though that configured to collect the manipulate, store and process data into the information. If I'm talking about the hardware here, hardware, what it stands for, that it consists of the computer equipment and used to perform input, processing and output activities. In terms of the software, that consists of the computer program that govern the operation of the computer. In the take of the database that organize collections of facts and information, typically consist of the two or more related data here. In the terms of the telecommunication network and the networks and the internet, in this where the electronic transmissions of signals or for communication. Now talking about the networks here, in the terms of the network here, that connects computers and the equipment to enable the electronic communication in the network here. With regard of the इंटरनेट जो कि आज के टाइम पे आप सब यूज़ करते हैं, अभी भी अगर आप वीडियो देख रहे हैं तो आपने अपना इंटरनेट खोला हुआ है, तभी आप देख पा रहे हो यूट्यूब पे. In regard of the internet, the world's largest computer network consisting of thousands of interrelated networks, all freely exchanging the information. With regard of the intranet, if I'm talking about the internet, that internal network that allow people within an organization and exchange information and work on project. We're now talking about the extranet, that the network that allows the selected outsiders such as the business partner or the customers to access the authorized resource of the company's intranet here. With regard of the people, if I'm talking about here, as you can see that the people, with regard of people, that the most important element is the most computer based information system here. With regard of procedure, include strategies, policies, methods and rules for using the CBIS, that is computer based information system here. Now we will discuss the another heading, and that will be the various components of information system, that what we had discussed about the technologies, infrastructure, computer based information system, and about the information system as well. Let's go ahead with another topic, and that will discuss, that is also important, plays an important role here. In the terms of various components of information system, as I told you, basic components of information system, as I can say, is your hardware and software, database, network, procedure, people and application program here. Now we'll discuss that in detail. Here if I'm talking about the hardware here, where hardware is a device that such as processor, monitor, keyboard and the printer, that we can say that in the form of the hardware here. With regard of the software here, that is the software is a program that collections of program that enables the hardware in the process data, where in the form of the database, that database is a collection of related files or the tables containing the data here. In the network case, we can say that network is a connecting system, wireline or wireless, that permits the different computers to share resources. In the procedure here, that is the procedure are the set of the instructions about how to combine the above component in order to process information and generate the desired output here. With regard of people, that people are those individuals who use the hardware and the software interface with it or use it output. And then next is your application program. An application program is a computer program designed to support a specific task, a business process or another application program here. These all are the components of information system. That's what we have to discuss here. Now we'll move ahead with another one, and that is the types of information system. कि कितने types के आपके information system होते हैं. Basically types की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो there are the 5 types of information system. The first is the functional area information system. The second is transaction processing system, that is TPS. The third is enterprise resource planning system, that is ERPS, and that is the fourth one is inter-organizational information system, and the fifth is electronic commerce system here. With regard of this, if I'm talking about, there are the various types of information system which are given as what we had discussed here. Now we'll go ahead with the functional area information system or the departmental information system here. Functional area of system को भी हम departmental भी बोलते हैं, like departmental information system. In this, the function what we'll discuss moreover about the functions and as well as these examples. So इसके मैं functions की बात करती हूँ अगर, तो the function is support the activities within the specific function area. The example is system for processing the payroll, where the transactions processing system TPS. In this, the function is that process transaction data from a business events, and the example is that like Walmart checkout point of sale terminal. And the third is enterprise resource planning system. In this, the function is integrate all fundamental areas of the organization, and the example is Oracle and SAP. You can see that Oracle and SAP here. With the fourth one, that is your inter-organizational information system. Here that is we can say that IOS here. With regard of that, that is the information system that connect two or more organizations and support intra-organizational operations such as supply chain management. And the function is manage flow of the product, services, and the informations among the organization. And as well as the example, if I'm talking about like Walmart retail link system connecting suppliers to the Walmart, and that is the examples of inter-organizational information system, that is IOS here in reference to this. Let's go ahead with another one, and that is your supply chain here. And with regard of this, if I'm talking about the supply chain, this is a type this is a part of your inter-organizational system where the via head this is you can just write it down like if I'm talking about supply chain. So we have supply chain that describes the flow of the material, information, money, and the services from the raw material supplier through the factories and the warehouses to the end customers. Now we'll discuss the electronic commerce system here. In this, the function is that that enables the transaction among the organization and between the organization and the customer. Where for the business to business, like we can say that business to business is business to business, and as well as business to commerce as well. And the example is like www.dell.com, that is the electronic commerce system here. With regard of that, now we'll move ahead with another one, and that will discuss the classification of information system. कि classify किस तरह से information system हुआ है, and what we have to discuss in detail here. In the information system is basically divided into the two parts. This is the operation support system, where that support of the business operation, and the second is your management support system, that is support the management decision making. In the operation support system, this is also divided into three, that is the transaction processing system, which is processing the business transaction. The second is your process control system, and that is the control of the industrial process. Third is enterprise collaboration system, that is team and the work group collaboration here. In the management support system, they are also divided into the three. The first is the management information system, that is pre-specified reporting for managers here. And the second is decision support system, that is the interactive decision support. And the third is executing the information system, that is information that tailored for execution here. With regard of that, if I'm talking about the operation support system here, in this the operation support system, that process data is generated by the business operation, that is the major category, where the first is the transaction processing system. In this, that it supports the operation as well as update the operational database. Example for this, we have an ATM, that is ATM a machine system, that is banking transaction, and the cash register system, that is your point of sale transaction, accounting system, that is checking account transactions, and even pay-per-view or we can say on demands of TPS, that is also comes under the transaction processing. So they are the four examples. You can just write it down. I will just tell it to you. ATM a machine system, that is banking transaction, cash register system, that is point of sale transaction, accounting system, that is checking account transaction. That's fourth one is even pay-per-view on demand, that in TPS, so that is also the transaction processing system. For the second one, the process control system here that supports the operation and monitor and control the industrial or the manufacturing process. Example is petroleum refining. You can say that petroleum refining, power generation, and the third is automobile manufacture. Okay, so these were the three examples here. And the third one is enterprises collaboration system. Its function is that to support operation, that is teamwork, communication, and the collaboration. Examples, there are many examples for enterprises like email, then chat, video conferencing, calendaring. I just write it down here, calendaring, and then we have journaling, then we have workflow, and then we have file sharing. Okay, इसके लिए मैं यहाँ पे लिख देती हूँ so that you will get to know. Petroleum refining, okay, power generation, and ऑटोमोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, इसके लिए एटीएम, कैश रजिस्टर system, accounting system, and pay per view. Okay, so for that sake we had write it down for you. And for the management information system, if I'm talking about here, that provides the information and support the needed for the effective decision by making the managers. Of major categories are management information system here. In regard of that, that supports the management analysis and reporting, and the charts, graphs, and the summary tool. Example for this, we have this is SCT banner, that is the managing college informations. Second is your spreadsheet. This is Excel. I think you had used once at least, one of the first and the most basics. And the third is your Oracle, that is Oracle Corporation Performance Management. Now the second one is decision support system. Here it supports the management as well, because it is divided into the manage support system. So yes, of course, the work of this that it supports the management as well. And with regard of that, what if analysis, that decision modeling, scenario building, highly interactive ads hoc. So these must be in that has been managed by this. And for enterprises decision manager 2.0, fear SAC corporation, that is enterprises decision manager. The second is your AIMS 3.6, and the most DSs are the custom developed for the specific companies, a very a few out of the box of the product. The third one is the execution information system. Here that supports the high level strategies management, like provide critical info from the other system like MIS or DSS. Portal concept, that is one a place with a link to all information. And the third is EIS, integrate external information, that is such as an economic development, and that a development and a new about related markets and competitors, and help strategies decision making. Not necessary that the tacticals, of course the tactical is doing things the right way, right, and the strategist is doing the right things. So this is the the difference between the tacticals and the strategic. I will just write it down. Tacticals क्या होता है, that a tactical stands for doing things the right way, right. Okay, and what is this strategies? Strategies is doing the right thing. Okay, so this is the difference between the tacticals and the strategies, that what you have to understood here. And now we'll discuss various advantages of information system, and where you can see that benefits of information system, that what we have to discuss here. Here that is the various advantages and the benefits of information systems here. In this what you have to do is, first of all, you have to understand that the primary benefit of the information system in their ability to provide a user with the information needed to do any task effectively and efficiently. And that computer database and the paper records provides the data, but the information system provides the appropriate data about each user task in the format best suited to that user. And the third, information system here So here with that various advantages and the benefits information that I told you, that the primary benefit of the information system is the ability to provide a user with the information needed to do any task effectively and efficiently with the computer database and the paper records that provide the data, but the information system that provide the appropriate data about each user task in the form or best suited to that user. And that information system can present real-time or archive data and as needed, and are adaptable to new or modified information requirement as well. So first we have with the custom information, second is your custom format, third is your real-time information, and the fourth is your adaptability. In regard of that, if I'm talking about the custom information here, with regard of custom information that we are dealing here as in the accordance of custom information here, and now we'll discuss in detail what is custom information, the custom formats, and as well as real-time information, and as well as the adaptability here. Here in the custom information, if I'm talking about here, so the custom information that provide each user the information that he needs to make the decision or take the action here. And for example, a sales manager looking at sale data may see an overall picture of her department activities during the current week, and while the salesperson using the same data set that sees heads record displayed so that they indicate what customer have or haven't been contacted. With digging the information out of a paper record system would take much longer, be more prone to missed data, and the cost more to produce in the time. So the expenses needed by the clerical person to key in this data. And now we'll discuss about the custom format. In the custom format, the custom format make information system more effective because of the data is easier to use. And for example, a salesperson seeking the information about this about his a week's productivity might see on his screen and a list of his contacts and the recent purchase order of each. So the sales manager, based on the same data set, may see a pie chart showing each sales representative shares of total sales of a bar graph that displaying the volume of the sales and each product, while the another screen might display the same data compared to the earlier period, and the accountant looking the same data might have the listing of the dollars generated by each sales representative and the total dollars generated for each product here. With regard of the real-time information, in the real-time information, an information system can be boon to the manufacturing the operation if the production time line stops, and the real-time that information provides can help the line operator quickly determine if the shutdown is the result of the mechanical failure or lack of the product of the some other causes, and that the benefit is having an immediate data convert to the use of the information that presented to the people who can act upon it. And with regard of that, the fourth one, we have the adaptability. In the adaptability, the information systems are flexible and can be represented to grow with the need, and often individual parts of the system can be upgraded and installed without the disruptions of the total system here. Now we'll discuss the next, and that is the difference between the traditional information system and the functions and the new functions as well. In the traditional information system functions, that managing the system development and the system project management, and that in the traditional information system functions. Second is the managing computer operations including the computer center. Third is the staffing, training, developing IS skill, that is information system skills, and provide technical services, infrastructure planning, development, and control. These all comes under the traditional information system functions here. Now we'll go ahead with the new that is new consultative information system functions that we have here. As you can see, there are many functions related to this. With regard of that, if I'm talking about here, the initially and designing the specific strategies information system, incorporating the internet and the e-commerce into the business, managing the system integrations including the internet, intranet, and the extranet as well, and educating the non-information system managers about IT, that is information technology as well, and educating the information system staff about the business, that supporting end users computing, partnering with the executives, and the managing the outsourcing, Actively using the business and the technical knowledge and that seed innovations ideas about the IT as well. With regard of that, we have like creating the business alliances with the vendors and the information system department in the other organization as well. With regard of that, we'll go ahead with another one, and that is the information systems is helpful or to the business organization, and what are the criteria has been follows with respect to that what we have to discuss here. So here is information system is helpful as helpful to the business organization or not, that what we have to discuss here. And with regard of that the small business must be concerned with producing the quality good services, and also that with turning mountains of the data into the actionable information. With regard of this, to contain the cost and the achieve of the competitive advantages, that as many small businesses leaders consider the information system as they formulate corporate tacticals and the operation strategies as well. To best leverage data as the company assets, the business must be adopt the information strategies which may be required to the implementations of variety of the business information system, and that process the business transaction, as well as to empower business leaders to make more informed and the faster decision as well. With regard of that, yeah, of course, as I told you, that are divided into four, that is the transaction processing system, management information system, and the decision support system, and as well as executive support system. Will deal with all the four in the detail, and that what we have to deal is the transaction processing system. In the transaction processing system, a small business process transaction that results from day to day business operations, such as the creations of the paychecks and the purchase order using a transaction protection processing systems, or TPS. And the TPS, unlike a batch system, require that users interact with the system in the real time to direct the system to collect, store, and retrieve the modified data. And a user enters the transaction data by means of the terminals, and the system immediately stores and the data is in the database, and produces any required output. For example, a small business owners may direct a bank system to debit a saving account with for example, for the $500, and the credit of the company checking account for the $500. So because of the constant system update, user can access the current TPS data, such as an account balance, at any point here. This is what we can say that the transaction processing system we have here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that is your management information system. In regard of the management information system, that what we have to deal here. In regard of the management information system, that small businesses, managers, and owners rely on an industry specific management information system, or MIS, to get the current and the historical operational performances data, such as the sales and the inventories data. Periodically, the MIS can create the pre-scheduled reports which company management can use in the strategic tacticals and the operations planning and the operations. For example, an MIS report may be a pie chart and illustrate products sale volume by the territory, or a graph that illustrate a percentage increase or decrease in the product sales over the time. And even though we can see that in the management information system, that small businesses, managers, and owners also rely on the MIS to conduct what if ad hoc analysis. And for example, a manager might use the system to determine the potential effects on the shipping schedules if monthly sales doubled here. That was done by the management information system as well. Let's go ahead with the decision support system. In the decision support system, it allows the small businesses, managers, and owners to use the predefined or agile report to support the operation planning and the problem resolution decisions. And with DSS, users find answer to specific question as a means to evaluate the possible impact of the decision before it is implemented. The answer to these queries may take the form of the data summary report, such as the product revenue by the quarter sales report here. And to conduct an analysis, business owners and the managers use an interface and a dashboard to select the particular graphic representation of a key performances that indicates the measures the progress towards meeting a specific goal here. The fourth one is the executive support system here, that what we have to discuss. So here, in regard of executive support system here, with regard of this, so it contains the predefined report that helps the small businesses owners or the managers identify long-term trends in the support of the strategic planning or non-routine decision making as well. And this the system users click on any icon that is displayed on the ESS screen, and as well as that is inline report a criteria to view the individual predefined reports and the graphs, and it is based on the company wide and the functional department data, that is such as sales, scheduling, and the cost accounting, and that the ESS report brief the business manager or the owner on an issue, and that is such as market trends and the buyer's preferences. And that ESS system also offers analysis tools used to predict the outcomes, assess performances, and that calculate the statistics based on the existing data as well. And with regard of that, if I'm talking about here, and that is the what are the global changes in the information system, that what we have to deal here, that the global changes in information system that we have here. Here we can see, go ahead, that is the cultural change. There are the several changes given below, that is the cultural change and the language challenge, sorry, cultural challenge, language challenge, time distance challenges, infrastructure challenges, currency challenges, product and services challenges, technology transfer issues, state, regional, and national laws, trade agreement. These were the challenges that were the global challenges in information systems here. Let's go ahead with Sdlc, that is the system development process. What we can say that the activity that creating and modifying the existing business system, and the system development project can be done by the people within the company or the outsourced here to improve that result of the system development project. It is divided into the several steps, as you can see here. Okay, so here that is first the system development life cycle, that is also known as the Sdlc, that describe the life of an information system, that from the conceptions in the retirement, like system identification, selections and planning, system analysis, system design, system implementation, and system maintenance. This were the 5 steps here. With regard of that, we will go ahead with the diagram, and then after that we'll discuss all this in detail here also. With regard of that, the first step is the system and identification, selections, and planning. First you have to identify, select, and then you have to plan. It will goes towards the system analysis, then the system is to be analyzed, then it's to be go on to divide that system design, and then of course that it will goes to the system implement. After designing, it should be implemented. The system implement, you can go on through with the system design, and then we would go on to the system analysis, and then as well as you can go on through with the system identification, the selection, and the planning, what you had select, what you had identified, what you had planned, that it will be fulfilled or not. With regard of that, the system implementation has to be gone for the system identification, selections, and planning, that what we can say that as the system maintenance here. With regard of that, we can say that in the phases we'll discuss all these things and the evaluation criteria as well. Here, with regard of that, if I'm talking about the phase 1, that is system identification, selection, and planning, and with regard of this, to understand system identification, selections, and planning, that undertake only those projects that critical to mission, and that is goal is an objective, and select the development project from all the possible projects that could be performed, and the different evaluation criteria used to rank potential projects as well. With regard of that, we'll discuss the evaluation criteria. Evaluation criteria, first is your strategic alignment, potential benefit. Third is your potential cost and the resource availability. The fourth is the project size and durations, and that is technical difficult risk here. With regard of the strategic alignment here, if I'm talking about here, with regard of the strategic alignment, the extent to which the project is viewed or as helping the organization achieve in the strategic objectives and long-term goal. In regard of the potential benefits, that is the extent to which the project is viewed as improving the profit and that customer services, and of course the duration of that benefit as well. The third one is the potential cost and the resource availability here, that the number and the types of the resources the project requires and the availability. The fourth is your project size and duration. Here the number of the individuals and that length of time needed to compute complete the project as well. And the technical difficulty and the risk, the level of the technical difficulty involves to compute that complete the project within a given time and the resources as well. Now we'll talk about the phase 2, and that what we had been given here is your phase 2, that is system analysis. The system analysis, if I'm talking about the first for the system analysis, we have a collecting systems and requirement. Collecting systems and requirement, that is the requirements collecting process of gathering and organizing the information from the user, manager, business process and document to understand how proposed systems should work. And the system analysis use a variety of the techniques to collect the system requirements. That is, your first is interviews, that is second is questionnaires, that observations and documented analysis. In the interviews, that analysis the interview people. In the questionnaires, that is analysis the design and the administrator survey. Observation, that is analyst observe workers at selected time. And the document analysis, that is analysis study business documented here. With regard of that, the critical success factor, that is your SCF. In this, the analysis asks each person to define their own personal CSFs here, and we got that is critical success factor, that is the joint application design here. Joint application design, that is JAD here. With regard of that, the special type of a group meeting where all the users and the analysts meet at the same time here. Now we'll go ahead with another one, that is your modeling organizational that is data here, data and modeling organizational data, that to construct an information system. The system analysis must be understood what data the information that needs order to accomplish the intended task. To do this, so they use the data modeling tools to collect and describe the data to the user. And the first we have is the entity relation diagram, ERD, that you all know very well and that we had discussed in the DBMS as well. And here with the modeling organization process and logic, that what we have to discuss. This is the third one in the terms of the second phase here only. And then this the data flows and the processing logic as well. Let's go ahead with the diagram, the sample for the ERD for the students here, that the students is here and that goes to towards the class as well. And that is in the student here, it should be known that what is the name and what ID is the ID, and that was local address, and that goes to the class of course. And for that at the major as well as the room here, what that the information has to be known. And here that is a schedule, what room has to be scheduled for that student and has a sign for that class, and has and as required for the major here. That has been a sample ERD for the student. And as if you gone to with the DBMS class, I had mentioned many of the ERDs here also on the demand of yours, so we had completed there. Now we'll move ahead with the phase 3, and that is the system design here. Phase 3, that is the system design here. In the system design, this is first is you're designing forms and reports, designing interfaces and dialogues, designing data and databases and files, and the fourth is you're designing the processing and the logic here. With regard of that, these were the 4 phases of phase 3, that is system design. We have designing the forms and reports, designing interfaces and dialogues, designing the database and files, and designing the processing and the logic here. Let's go ahead with the phase 4, and for phase 4 is system implementation. In the system implementation, the software programming and the software testing here. In the developmental, here the programmer tests the corrections of individual modules and the integrations of the multiple modules. And the alpha here, that is the software tester test whether it meets design specification. Beta, that is the actual system users does the capability of the system in the user environment with the actual data here. Now we will discuss about the system conversion here. The system conversion, if I'm talking about the system conversion, that is the system first is your parallel, direct, phased, pilot. These were the system conversions here. Now we'll discuss the system documentation, training and support. In this, where we have is user and references guide. Second is your training and tutorials, and the third is your installation procedures and troubleshooting guides. These were the 3 system documentation, training and support here. In regard of that, we'll discuss what is parallel, direct and phased and pilot. In the parallel, that is system conversion, the parallel is old system and the new system. This is for the direct, old system till the new system. This is the phase, old system, and this is the new system. And this is the pilot, that is the single location, that is old system and the new system. This is the software conversion strategies that has been performing. Okay, now we'll go ahead but before that, for this the parallel here, that old and new systems are used at the same time. In this here, that old system is the discontinue on one day and the new system used on the next. And then third one is that the the parts of the new systems are implemented over the time. And the fourth, this one is for the pilot, that is entire system is used is used in one location only, that what it assigned here. Now moving ahead with another one, and that is the another question that is related to the phase 5 that we have to discuss, that is system management here. Here for the phase 5, that is system maintenance, if I'm talking about the maintenance process steps, the first maintenance process we have is obtain maintenance request. The second is to transform request into changes. The third is design changes, and the fourth is implementation changes. So they are the four types of system maintenance process steps that we have taken is obtain maintenance request, transform request into the changes, design changes, and the implement changes as well. Now talking about the maintenance type here, maintenance type, that is the first is your corrective maintenance, the second is your adaptive maintenance, the third is the perfective maintenance, and the fourth is preventive maintenance. These were the four types of the maintenance type, that is the corrective maintenance, adaptive maintenance, perfective maintenance, and the preventive maintenance as well. Let's go ahead with a diagram that is mapping for the maintenance to the Sdlc here. This is also an important one, as you can see here, that the system identification, selections and planning, that towards goes to the obtain maintenance request, that is the maintenance process here. This is the first one, it goes towards it, and vice versa for this also. And for that sake, the system goes to the system analysis goes to the system design, design goes to the system that is your implementation. Data system implementation goes to the system design, it goes to the system analysis, it goes to the select system identification, selections and planning. As system analysis goes towards the transitions, request into the changes, and system design goes to the design changes, and the system implementation goes to the implemented changes. These were the maintenance operations, maintenance process has been taking place with respect to the Sdlc here. Let's go, this is the mapping for the maintenance to Sdlc. Now we'll go ahead with another one, and that is the threads of information system. So here are the threads of information system that we have to discuss. The first thread is the users error, hardware failure, access penetrations, fire, software failure, program changes, electrical problem, theft of data, personal actions, services, equipment, telecommunication problem here. These were the threads of information system. These were the threads that are within the information system. Now we'll deal with the next one, that is the information system is the vulnerable, and what are the vulnerabilities that we have to deal with. Now we'll deal with the information system and of course the vulnerable here. With regard of the information system and the vulnerable, in reference to that, the information system is vulnerable, and what are the vulnerabilities that we have to deal with. That the information system, in terms of that, we'll discuss information systems are vulnerable due to that is vulnerable due to for respect to the system complexity. The second is your computerized procedure, not always read or audited. The third is extensive effect of disaster. The fourth is unauthorized access possible. These were the four types. These were the information system that vulnerability due to occurs within of all types. And the vulnerabilities, if I'm talking about the vulnerabilities here, the vulnerabilities, first is your radiation that allows the recorders bugs to the tap system. The second is your crosstalk is that can garble data. Third is your hardware. Hardware is that improper connections, failures of the protection circuits. The fourth is software. That failure of the protection features access control, that is bound control. Next is your files. That's subject to theft, copying, unauthorized access. User. That identification, authentication, stable. That is subtle software's modification. The next one is your programmer. That is disables the protective features, that reveals protective measures. The next is your maintenance staff. In maintenance staff, that disables the hardware devices, uses the stand-alone utilities here. These were the vulnerabilities that has been we are facing here. And the next is your operation. In the operators. In the operators, that does not notify the supervisor, reveal protective measures here. Now we will talk about the disciplines and the principles used in the IS field. So that disciplines. So I will just not make you write here. I will just tell you. I will just explain you. You can just write it down. While listening things, and you can just write it down, because this is a long topic as well as the long unit. So we'll not waste that much time. So I will be listing you all the disciplines and the principles used in the information systems field. In regard of that, the first key principle, I will tell you the disciplines. I will just tell you the disciplines, and this the key principles. You have to write it down. I will just tell you here. Key disciplines is the first is your computer science. Second is your political science. Third is your psychology. The fourth is your operating research. The fifth is your linguistics. The next is your sociology. The next is your organization theory and behavior. And the next is your ergonomics. Okay, so here we'll deal with this. In the computer science, the key principle is to identify and understand the scientific principles of computing, learn to develop more powerful and the interacting computers. In the political science, that examine the political impact of the information both inside and outside the organization and the effect of the information system in the society. In the third one, the psychology, we understood and study how the human being reason and apply information to solve problem and explore how to help the human being used information to become the better decision maker. In the operation research, that is to develop tools, techniques and methods to gather and the process information efficiency and effectively, understand the scientific and the mathematical principle to get the maximum benefit from the IS investments. And therefore the linguistics here, that understand the role and the power of the language in communication, focus and develop more the humanistic way to communicate with the computers. The sociology here, that identify the principles that govern society as they relate to the information developed, meaning ethical guidelines for the individual and business society to work in an information incentives world here. With organizations theory and the behavior, that of course assesses how the influences of the organization and their culture influence the individuals and society, develop the guidelines to help the individual and succeed in the different organization settings. And the ergonomics here, with regard of that determine the way to improve the interactive between the human being and the machine, and that explores the ways to make computers and the natural extensions of the human being as well. So here with the next one we can see, and we can go ahead and I will discuss more over in the next coming classes. And for that sake, in this classes, what we had learned is somewhat unit 1 we had done, and here that we have concluding the unit 4 here only. For the unit 1, if I'm talking about here, so we'll discuss about the introduction of the information system, the types of information system that we had discussed, deployment of the information system that we had discussed, introduction to information security, need for information security, threats of to information system, information assurance, and cyber security, and the security risk analysis. That what we have to discuss in the unit 1 here. Now we'll discuss about the unit 2, what we have to discuss here, that is the application security, database, email and internet data security consideration, backups, archived storage and the disposals of data, security technologies, firewall and VPNs, and intrusions detections, access control. And then in the security threat we'll discuss about viruses, worms, Trojan horse, bombs, that is your trapdoor spoofs, email viruses, macro viruses, malicious software, network and denial of the services attacks, security threats of e-commerce, and then electronic payment system, e-cash, credit, debit cards, and digital signature, public key cryptography. In unit 3, what we have to discuss here, as in unit 3 we have to discuss was developing the secure information system, application development, security information security, governance, and the risk management, security architecture and design, and the security issues in the hardware, data storage and downloadable devices, physical security of the IT assets, access control, CCTV, and the intrusions detection system, backup security measures. That what we have to discuss in the unit 3. In unit 4, and this is the last unit as well for this, that is the security policy, why policies should be developed, www policy, email security policies, policies review process, corporate process, sample security policies, publishing and the notification requirements of the policies, and information security standards, ISO, IT Act, Copyright Act, Patent Act, IPR, and cyber laws in the India's IT Act 2000 provisions, intellectual property law, that is copyright law, and software license, semiconductor law, and the patent law. That what we will discuss in the next coming classes here. First of all, it's a huge request, if you had not subscribed to our channel, you can just gone through with that the subscribe button, so that whatever the videos we are uploading, you will get the information at once, and even you can also enjoy the video as well. Today we had started with the cyber security, but in the next coming 2 to 3 days we will start with the industrial management also, and we had provided you that chemistry as well as your reasoning as well, so you can go through with the subscribe button. Thank you, hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you.